you all. I've gotten this award not just from Gary, not just from the board. I've gotten this award from everyone. And this is what makes it special to me. In a way, I thought, hey, I've been put on the shelf. I'm down here with the old folks in the old folks home in Las Vegas. But it's not really. But I thought I had been, you know, when I left the industry in 2002, I did some consulting for a couple of months, years, the same as everybody retiring does. And then it became too much of a hassle with the airplanes and everything, and said I didn't have to do this anymore. So for a while, people were calling me up and asked me, you know, can I mix vegetable oil and alcohol, and how much can I use of each, and can I make an emulsion with maltodextrin and acacia gum, and how much the ratio. So I gave away a lot of information, but after a while, that got less and less, that people called me, and I thought, well, that's how it goes. I've done my stint in an industry that I've loved, but now it's over. But now I'm very happy that it's not over, that I can touch base with all of you, and I can even throw a couple of chemicals around. That I haven't forgotten too much. But what I wanted to talk to you all today was about creativity. And how many of you think that you are creative people, that what you do is creative? Could those that think they're creative please raise their eyebrows? I don't know what that means. Does that mean that you don't do Simon Says, or you have an itchy eyebrow, or you actually think you're creative? Well, my answer is, no, you're not. In today's world, in the flavor industry, you do not have the time, the ability, the focus to be creative. The only thing that you have for a goal is meeting that FedEx man and making sure that your products is on the FedEx van at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You might get your flavor brief on Monday evening, just as you're leaving, and the company that you're working for is having a trial in their pilot plant on Wednesday, so you need to get 2 quarts of flavor to them by Wednesday morning, which means you might have all of 5 or 6 hours to work on the project, because the rest of the time is taken up with paperwork, getting it through safety, getting all the materials, and getting it costed. So, and at the last minute, you got this flavor under your arm, and you're getting in the elevator to go down to the plant to give it to the packaging guy so it can get on the FedEx. And then, you know what happens? Your customer, A, either loses his time in the pilot plant, drops the bottle, and all your work that you've done is for naught. But most of the work that you did wasn't worthwhile anyhow.
You have to say that!
If somebody wanted an orange butter pecan ice cream, sherbet, whatever, what you do is you ran into the cooler and you grabbed an orange flavor and you went to the reaction room and you got some butter pecan and you mixed it together, you put it in the bottle and gave it a number. Because that's all the time you've had to be creative. Now, one company that I worked for, when this was discussed, they told us that we can have between 2 and 5 p.m. on a Friday to be creative. So you can't force creativity. So you sit in this room saying, I wonder what I'm going to fix for dinner. Now, I thought I was not going to tell you any old stories about myself, but one of them came up and it popped into my Gosh, I guess I worked in Philadelphia at the time, and my family always rented a house down at the Jersey Shore, Lavalette, and the kids played on the boardwalk. And driving across from Philadelphia to Long Beach Island, I passed through the farm country, and they were selling blueberries by the bucket. So I bought a 10-pound bucket of blueberries, figuring that would be good for us and the kids to make some pancakes. So what I had to do was clean these blueberries, because they didn't clean them too well. And I'm sitting out on the porch and washing the blueberries and pulling the little stems off and biting a blueberry now and then. And then I realized that these blueberries taste different. Every single one tastes different. And then I separated them out into green unripe blueberries and the ones that were mushy or overripe and the others, and sat down. I got a pen and pencil and described these things to myself, figured out if I were to make the best blueberry, how much of the unripe and how much of the overripe would I use to make the perfect blueberry. Well, everybody called this my blueberry summer. But when I got back to Philadelphia, I actually brought some of these blueberries back with me and squished them up and had them analyzed, and actually found different chemical differences in the blueberries, and came out with 3 different kinds of blueberry flavors. Plus I threw in one of cooked blueberries and cooked in sugar. Well, everybody says, who the heck is going to use a blueberry flavor? But I developed a whole line of blueberry flavors that was suited for baking, which was suited for beverage, and became good sellers after a while. All you had to do was promote them in the right way. So that was my blueberry summer. What I'm thinking is to develop a creative atmosphere. There's a group of people that you have to talk to. And these are people under the age of 6 who know the most about creativity, because we haven't stuffed their head yet with what was supposed to be. And I wanted to talk about Greg Lima's Little Girls, going back 43 years, Greg. And you put them out in the yard with a little picnic table and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and their baby pool. And he and Terry went off probably for a little afternoon delight. And the girls were in the backyard, and then he heard in a voice like any Jewish American, not Jewish, Italian American girl, Daddy, Daddy! Well, Daddy comes running out in a sheet, I think. And the little girl's like, Daddy, Lisa threw my radio in the pool and she drowned the little man. So the idea that she could think of, she didn't know about transistors or electricity. She knew that somebody in the radio was talking. So she equated that to having a little man that lived in her radio.